What's going on, everyone? My name is UnderTheRadar, and welcome back to the Draft League Viabilities. This is an episode that I'm super excited to do because it is on one of my favorite Pokemon that I've ever used, because I didn't think I would like it literally at all, and that's Stakataka. So, Stakataka is a very, very, very unique Pokemon because of its stat distribution, okay? It has base 13 speed with 0 speed IVs, and with, like, we'll say Brave just to give it that. It hits literally 16, giving it the strongest gyro ball in the game. It hits so unbelievably hard with stab, base 131 attack, and access to Trick Room itself. It makes it to where setting up Trick Room and gyro balling with this Pokemon is super easy. It also has a very unique aspect to it, to where it is able to run a Lonely Nature with 16 defense IVs, I believe it is. I believe that's what it is. $14? $13. I think you can have it even. So I think you can hit 15 speed IVs. Or 15 defense EVs. And then it is... Oh, wait. What? There we go. 16. And then you're able to run an attack boosting Beast Boost with Gyro Ball, Stone Edge, Earthquake. Super simple Pokemon. It does what it does, but it does it well. It has two very prominent quad weaknesses in fighting and ground, with both of them having very strong attacks in Earthquake and close combat, that if they're stab, it's going to do a lot of damage. But because of its really good bulk in 211 defense and 101 spadef, it can usually tank one if you're smart and you pack the right berry. I use this thing in NPA, and I literally had a berry on it most weeks, and it was phenomenal. Almost every single time I was able to live a hit. Like from a Mega Mawile, for instance, I had a Chople Berry to tank a Brick Break. You really don't need to run a lot of attack for this thing to break through things. I played Dan in APA or in NPA, and I had Stakataka, and it was doing literally 70% to everything. Like Victini's, it was doing like 70% to. It's stupid with no investment. So it's super strong. But the way that you build around this is you ensure that you can almost always help it by getting Trick Room up with other Pokemon, or by helping out its weaknesses that are very prevalent in water, fighting, and ground. So, big one that comes to mind that I had with mine is Celebi. A lot of people don't really like Celebi because of the quad weakness to Bug. To that I say, shut the fuck up. Realistically, unstab U-turns aren't going to be killing. It can recover up because it does get recover, not synthesis, so it's able to recover reliably. Access to stealth rocks, pivoting, and most importantly, to pair with Stakataka, Trick Room. Trick Room is super important to have on a bunch of different Pokemon. So like this, you can have Jellicent with it, is really cool. Things like that. This is also a really good fairy killer. Fairies can't touch this thing. Like most of them can't, at least. Fighting ones, so big one that comes to mind is Tapu Bulu with like superpower, but even then you can tank a superpower and click Gyro Ball and kill it, and if it's a Tapu Bulu, you're weakening the Earthquake anyway. So because of that, I like to get a Mega that can't beat fairies at all, and one that I used in the exact same team was Mega Heracross. This thing was phenomenal. It helped out with the ground weakness. It helped out with the fighting weakness, because it can tank close combats for most things with its stupid bulk. It can break through most teams, and in Trick Room, it's really good. So having two Trick Room users plus Mega Heracross is really cool. Having two Stealth Rockers, I use Stakataka as a Stealth Rocker because usually you need Trick Room, Gyro Ball, Earthquake / Stone Edge, and then that's it. And then you don't really need another move. Or does it not get Stone Edge and it gets Rock Slide? I think... No, it does get Stone Edge, but I usually ran Rock Slide because I don't really like missing. So I really like Mega Heracross with this thing. There's a bunch of things that you can do after this. You're kind of sort of flying weak. This does quad resist it, but these two don't really appreciate it. So a decent electric type is pretty good. A bulky one that also is kind of sort of slow that can help take advantage of Trick Room, but also can pivot, that I really like for a low tier is Electros. It gives you a ground immunity, so now you're taking more you're taking more pressure off of Stakataka with Earthquakes, not making this your main Earthquake switch in, or this, you have an Electros. It's very cool. The only bad part about these four right here are that your speed tiers are pretty shit, so because of that, I do think you need to get some pretty fast mons. Some really cool ones that could fall to this end are Greninja, but you know, if you wait too long on that, if you wait past round 3, you're not going to get a Greninja literally ever. So Greninja's a really good one. You could go something like Torn T, but that's usually pretty early take. None of these are really early takes either, which is really cool. Like this I picked up in free agency, I believe. I could be mistaken, but a lot of really cool aspects to it. I would suggest getting another Trick Roomer with this. There's a bunch of ghost ones that you can get. A really good one that fits perfectly with this is Jellicent. Sorry, my voice cracked. I say Jellicent fits in perfectly because if you look at Stakataka, Electros, Jellicent, the type coverage is almost perfect, and then you add in Mega Heracross for the dark coverage. So this is quad weak to ground and fighting. This is immune to ground. This is immune to fighting. This is immune to everything. This is immune to this is weak to electric. You have something that resists electric pretty well, and then another resist to electric. So a good ground type would really fit in well with this. So you could go like a Garchomp to help take Stealth Rock's pressure off of these two with another offensive Stealth Rocker. But a ground type is extremely important with this. But with these 5, you have really good Trick Room options. So now that your Trick Room base is set, you need to start building around speedy mons, because like even if they can be really fat, so for example Garchomp is a great example, because it can be physically defensive, it can still be fast, it can still be offensive. So I would build around it that way, because right now your best speed tier is base 100. Defensively, you're going to be leaning on Electros and Jellicent and Celebi. That's not the best. You would want another bulky mon that you could help out with these, but your Trick Room options to make Stakataka shine, this is what you need. You need these Pokemon. Like, of course, there's other ones that can do it, but I like these specifically because they all work together really well. This is quad weak to bug. This resists bug. This is weak to water. This is immune to water. This doesn't want to take Scald Burns. This eats up Scald. So really good synergy between these 5. I'm going to throw Garchomp on here because I do think that Garchomp actually fits super well on this, as it does on most teams. I mentioned before that Garchomp isn't my favorite, but having another speedy Stealth Rocker, another speedy Pokemon, speedy, it really helps out not being reliant on Trick Room. If you wanted to get another fast Pokemon, something like Excelgor could be pretty nice. I never think having 2 bugs is bad. I had Ribombee with this, and Ribombee plus Mega Heracross was lit. It was so phenomenal. I loved it. So, that's what I'm going to suggest as a 7th Pokemon, because it does give you Sticky Webs. It gives you a super speedy Pokemon. It gives you more pivoting, because right now you just have 3. It gives you Sticky Webs. Such a good freaking Pokemon. And it helps break down bulky Psychics that Stakataka might not be able to kill. Overall, these Pokemon are the ones that I'm going to suggest every single time. I also had Landorus over Garchomp. It is what it is. I like Landorus far more than Garchomp, but I know a lot of people love Garchomp. I'm trying to think what else I had on that team. I had a Alolan Persian, I think, right? I can't remember what I had on that team anymore. Wow. I had Incineroar. I remember that. And I had Vaporeon. So very, very, very similar, right? I had a water immunity, and then I had Incineroar, which was a low tier bulky pivot with Celebi. Like Incineroar could take on the bug hits that Celebi didn't want to. I think Electros would work out a little bit better. I don't remember what my electric type was. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Was it Thundurus? It was Thundurus because I had Landorus and Thundurus. See, I'm so good at this game. But overall, this is how I would suggest you build around Stakataka. You need to have good Trick Room options, and you need to have good options outside of Trick Room. And a really good way to do that is to ensure that you have sticky webs to help the mons that rely on Trick Room to be good outside of Trick Room. So Mega Heracross, for example, is a good example of that. You get up sticky webs, Mega Heracross now outspeeds a crap ton of stuff, and then it can just break through everything. Same thing with Garchomp. But if you don't bring sticky webs, then you also have a really good Trick Room. So that's how I would build around Stakataka. Super phenomenal mon. If you have not drafted Stakataka, make sure you guys draft it at least once, because it's so much fun to play around, and you will get a sweep with it, and you will feel like your peen is massive. It's awesome. But with that, guys, I hope you found this video enjoyable and informative. If you did, please make sure to leave a like down below for me. Also, make sure you leave suggestions for me down in the description, in the comment section. Shit. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.